In this video, I'm gonna teach and I'm gonna speak about 10 things that I've learned since starting my agency, since starting my business. And the first thing is gonna be very, very clear. And this is where everybody gets it wrong. And that's what I've learned as well since I started off. And that's gonna be number one. It's gonna be do more, think less. You have to do more. You have to think less. That is for 90% of people out there. 99, in fact. Because the time you are spending to think about what you're going to do, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to become a millionaire, I'm going to start this business, I am going to do this, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking. Well, you have to do more, think less. A lot of you guys are thinking about the actions and thinking about the things that you're going to do, but end up not doing it. Because if you think too much about it, overthinkers, they tend to not do it because they think about all the consequences, all the problems that can happen, all the bad things that can happen, all the time they might spend and not get a sale, not get money in. You have to work for free, maybe. You have to work way more. They start to think about all these things that it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter because you have to honestly start doing more and thinking less. Start taking actions instead of speaking. Start doing more and think less. That's always been probably one of my favorite quotes, probably one of my favorite sayings, because it just resonates very well on how I think and how I became successful in my business. And I try always to say that to people that I mentor, to people that I coach, that if you do more and then you think less, because in the start you're gonna suck it, like we all do. We all start with no experience. Like, you can't just start off with level 100 experience. It's impossible. So you have to just go out there and get experience, and that's the best experience you can get. And that kind of leads me onto the next point, which is my second advice, which is basically you have to get a mentor. You have to get a mentor because yes, there's a lot of information for free on YouTube and Google, but you have to get a mentor because that person or they or whatever it is, or maybe it might be a group, it might be a one specific mentor, they're gonna guide you a specific way. They're gonna teach you some specific things. So you have to get a mentor because you need to learn from people. You have to learn from people that are where you are wanting to be, right? If you want to become a tennis player, you need to learn from tennis players. If you want to become a teacher, you need to learn from teachers and how they managed to go and get where they're actually at. If you want to become an agency owner, if you want to become a football player, you need to learn from those people. You need to learn from people that are where you want to be. You always have to do that. If you think you need to go and get a marketing degree to become a marketing agency owner, to become a business owner, that is very rarely the case. It might teach you some of the basics, it might teach you that, but it's never going to actually teach you the basics, the things that you actually need to do, the actions you need to take, the steps you need to take to actually get there. So you need to always learn from people that are where you want to be. The third thing is going to be very, very clear. And when you start to work with clients, it's going to be one important thing. When you start to work with customers, when you start to work with clients or whatever, it's always going to be mutual interest over contract, right? I see so many agencies that have very strict contracts. They have very strict rules. If you want to work with them, it's very strict. Everything is very strict. And I totally get that. It has to be right guidelines, it has to be right rules. But one thing you have to understand, one thing you have to know is that mutual interest always beats contracts. If the client doesn't want to work with you, it doesn't matter how good your contract is. It doesn't matter. Because they're not going to spend their energy, they're not going to spend their time with you. If the client or the customers don't actually want to work and don't actually want to pay you or work with you, it doesn't really matter. The business becomes way more fun if you actually just work with people that are mutually interested in working with you instead of just locking them in on some form of contract. That's not going to work out long term. And as a business owner, you need to think long term. You need to think, is this partner, is this business owners that I can work with for a longer time? Or at least, if you were to work with them a shorter period of time, that they actually want to work with you. It's actually a mutual interest that you give them value and they get some value in return, and that is exactly how business is played. All right. The next thing is going to be very, very clear. You need to hire people that are better than you. In the start, I always thought, because when you're starting as a business owner, you start to learn that you need to do everything. You need to do everything. You need to do all the tasks in the business. You need to become the salesperson. You need to become the marketing person. You need to be the accountant. You need to be the face. You need to be the personal brand. You need to do everything as a start. But little did you know that if you hire people that are better than you, the job's going to be way, way easier. Because there's a lot of business owners that are almost scared to delegate responsibilities to others because they feel like they can do everything better than themselves. Again, yes, you are a business owner. Yes, you might know your business way better than anybody else, but there are people that are better than you in certain tasks, and you must delegate. If you don't delegate, if you don't hire the right people to actually get where you want to be, it's going to be very difficult. You're not going to scale fast. You can go very far alone, but you're going to go way longer. You're going to scale faster. You're going to scale better with people around you. You need to hire people that are better than you. If you don't do that, you're never going to scale. You're never going to reach the numbers that you actually want to do. So that's what I see with a lot of business owners. That what I always say, if I wanted to scale my agency even 10 times quicker than I did, which we did very fast, we scaled very fast, and then these 2 years could be done. But if I wanted to scale 10 times faster in 1 year instead of 2 years, I would have hired and delegated way faster, set up the systems for them way faster. Because you need to understand, if you are a salesperson, if you can hire people to do the sales for you, you can hire people to set the meetings for you. Imagine the input you are getting. So the only thing you would do then is basically set up the systems, set up the SOPs, the things they need to do, and give that to them. And if you 10x, if you have 10 more people helping you, you have 100x more hours in a day because people are working for you. It just has to be a win-win situation for both. Right? Which leads me into the next point. And the next point is always going to be active income in front of passive income. Always. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this one, especially the real estate guys. Well, you have to work first. If you don't have money, you have to work first. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of people that are trying to get into real estate with no money. They're trying to get into crypto with no money. They're trying to invest money. Trying to invest $200 to get $300. Like, you don't need to invest. You don't need to. First, you need active income. First, you need to work. Right? First, you need to work. That's the first thing, right? Within this advice that I learned. Because a lot of people are trying to get everything passive. You're trying to get real estate passive. You're trying to get crypto passive. But listen, first off, it's just important that it doesn't really matter if you don't have a lot of money. It's not. You don't need to invest a lot of money if you don't have a lot of money. That's the first thing. Because first you need to invest in yourself to become better. But that's why you have the first advice in actually getting a mentor and actually doing more and start thinking less. Because that's what it's about. What active income, what I mean by that, first off, you need to work. So first off, you need to find a way to generate $100 per hour, for example. You need to find a way. There's many ways. You have e-commerce, you have agency, you have dropshipping, you have sales. You need to find a way, right? How can you earn $100 per hour? And then you must work 16 hours every single day. And when you have written down your to-do list, you've written down the things you need to do to start scaling. And if you can't finish your to-do list within these 16 hours of the day, because I imagine you would also need to sleep, so you can't work 24 hours. So if you work 16 hours every single day, and you still can't find time to do your to-do list, then you must delegate your work. Then you must delegate towards people that are going to help you, so they can do the tasks that you didn't manage to do, you didn't manage to get done. That's when you need to delegate. Do not even start to think about passive. And another thing is that passive is basically a myth. I would say it's a myth. Even though you got a business, even though you got real estate, you still need to check on it. You still need to check on the tenants, that the tenants are paying, that the tenants are doing it, that the tenants are coming in. You still need to check with your business that the revenue is actually going up. Like, you can outsource and delegate everything, but you still need to be there in some form of way, right? So passive is real, absolutely. We have some couple of businesses. I have a couple of investments that is very passive, absolutely. But first off, active is the key. You always need to do active work before you think about the passive, all right? Next thing is going to be what I would basically help me scale my business very, very fast. And that's going to be writing down my goals every single day on a piece of paper. And that's why I have this. So every time I wake up in the morning, I grab my coffee and then I write down my goals. I write down my exact goals. I write down the vision of the company. I write down the goal of the company. Because this gives me fire every time I wake up. Because I remind myself what I set myself as a goal a couple of years ago, or some months ago, or weeks ago. It doesn't matter. It gives me fire, because saying you're going to do something and then going out and actually doing it, that's actually the journey. That's actually what I love to do. Saying what I'm going to do and then going out and doing it. That's my favorite thing to do. That's my favorite thing to do in life. Honestly, writing down a goal and hitting that goal. Writing another goal, hitting that goal. That is what it's about. And that is, I genuinely believe, what life is about. Because if you stop growing, if you stop setting new goals, like, the goal can be very simple, it can be very tough. I don't really care. It can be, I'm going to get $100,000 this month. It can be, I'm going to go up 5 kilograms within the next 3 months. It can be something like that, but you have to write down a goal. You have to work for something. You have to live for something. And if you write down the goal and the mission and the vision and how you're going to do it every single day, I believe you. I truly believe it's going to help you. You're more motivated, you're more inspired, and you're also going to become way more disciplined, because you know exactly, you wrote down the goal, now you have to go and chase for it. You can't give up now. Giving up is not an option. If you give up when you've written down your goal, when you've said to everybody that you're going to hit this goal, and you don't go and hit this goal, that's going to be very painful. It's going to hurt your heart, because you're going to regret that you said that. Going out and saying that you're going to do something, going out and saying that you're going to make $1 million, it's tough, and it's unpleasing, because then you actually have to go and do it. It's different. It's a difference between want and going to, right? I want $1 million. That's one saying. Another saying is, I'm going to get $1 million. I will do this. I want to do this. I will do this. So we're saying, I will do this. And write down that goal every single day, so you know exactly why you're working, and the exact vision you have. Next thing is going to be the best advice. There's a lot of best advice there. I've probably said that 100 times right now, but it's a great advice. It's a great advice. And the next thing is going to be 10x the input. 10x the input. Whatever you're doing right now, 10x the input. If you're doing 100 sales calls every single month, you need to find a way to do 1,000 calls. You need to find a way. If you're doing 100 sales calls, you need to do 1,000. If you do 100 DMs, 100 cold outbound, you need to do 1,000. That's your goal. If you're doing 100 YouTube videos every month, if you're doing 100 Instagram Reels every month, you need to find a way to do 1,000. You need to do 1,000. You need to 10x the input. If you're doing $10K per month, you need to do $100K per month. You need to 10x the input. And for you to get to $100K per month, you need to 10x the input on everything you're doing. You need to 10x the input in marketing. You need to 10x the input in sales. You need to 10x the input on everything. So find a way to 10x everything. And you're going to realize, if you're doing 100 sales calls per month, you're going to realize that you can't do that. You can't do 1,000 calls per month. It's not possible. You have 24 hours every single day. You can't do 1,000 sales calls per month. Or at least I can't do that. But if you can, let me know. We should probably hire you. But you need to find a way to do 1,000 sales calls per month. And you're going to see that you can't do that 100% alone. And that goes back to hiring and delegating to tasks that you are not able to do. Right? So if you can hire and delegate towards things that you are not able to do, if you are not able to do your to-do list, if you're not able to do the things that you were supposed to do, you need to hire and you need to delegate. Like always, it comes back. All of these points leads to one another. Right? So 10x the input. And then next thing is going to be listen to your customer slash client. So you need to study your competitors, or not, no, we're going to get into that. I'm going to go a little bit into that later, but you need to study your clients and your customers way better. Then you need to know your clients and customers way better than everybody else in the market. So what I would do if I was you, if you don't have any clients, start interviewing potential clients for free. Ask them if you can get 30 minutes of their time just asking about the market, asking about things what they're doing. Can I give you a quick interview? Can I just give a quick interview? I just want to know a little bit more about the market. I'm not going to sell you anything, but give them a quick interview. Understand the market, understand the clients within that market, and understand them better than everybody else. So you need to ask them the right questions. What are their biggest problems? Why aren't they scaling? What are they spending a lot of money on that they think could be done better? Ask them these things, ask them these important questions, because you're going to realize that a lot of these clients in that specific niche, in that specific market, they have patterns. They have patterns of problems that they have. So if you don't have any clients, start interviewing potential clients in a specific market, in a specific niche. And if you have clients, interview the clients. Write them a spreadsheet. Give them a bunch of questions. Are there things that you could do better as an agency? Are there things that you are not happy about? Are there things that you don't like? Is there something that you're paying for that you don't like to pay for? Could it have been done better? What is that? Understand your clients and customers better than everybody else. Because then again, you're going to see a pattern of the same problems that occur of your same clients, or the clients in the niche in the market. Right? So you're going to see a pattern. You're going to understand their problems, understand what their needs are, understand what their biggest problems are, and then tailor the specific solution for that. So for example, what a lot of e-commerce, I'm going to give you a quick tip on what we actually done in our agency, which is a very bit private, but I'm going to go into that because you guys are absolutely deserve. If you're watching this content already, still watching. And one of the things that we did, we obviously help e-commerce brands in our marketing agency, so we understood that a lot of agencies they're not helping on every side of the business. They're not becoming a growth partner. They're more of a service. One of the biggest problems that they are over-delivering, over-promising, and not delivering the results that said they were going to do. That is a big problem, big problem for the e-commerce brands out there. Absolutely. You can't do that. You have to have a person that's competent on how far your brand actually can go with the potential that you actually have, with the products that you actually have. That's another thing. That's another video. But so there's a couple of problems that we saw there. They're not handling. They're not doing commission-based. They're not a growth partner. They're very rarely paying for the competence. They're paying actually for time. A lot of e-commerce brands are paying for the time of the marketing agencies. That's very wrong. You need to pay for the competence. You need to pay for the team that they have. You need to pay for the knowledge that the agency have. And that we completely understood. And we changed the whole industry. We changed the whole business. We changed the whole e-commerce. Basically, the whole marketing agency space for e-commerce brands in Scandinavia. And that's why a switch happens. When your service, when your solution, when you're perfected your team better than everybody else in the industry, you're going to win, because the market switches. The market always will switch towards a better solution. Right? It will always switch to a better solution. It's always going to be like that. All right. So my next advice is very similar, but you need to know your market better than everybody else. You need to know your market better than your competitors. You need to study the next thing. You need to study the next AI tool. You need to learn from people, again, that are doing better than you. What are they doing? What are they testing? If it's some companies that might be a little bit smaller than you, but are are growing very rapidly, for example. So if a company below us in our industry, in our in Scandinavia, for example, if they're growing very, very fast, I'm going to be asking them questions. I'm going to be there. I'm going to have asking, and what are you guys doing? What are you guys testing? Maybe they have some kind of new solutions that we don't have. You almost have to be a little bit paranoid, right? I don't like to say it, but you actually have to be a little bit paranoid that other people might come and take your spot, that other people might come and take your clients, take your customers, take whatever. They come here to ruin you. Business is war. Like, business is war. You're in war, and it's competition with the other people in your market, and you have to beat them. You have to beat them. You have to find a way to beat them, and you need to understand your market as everybody else, and that's what it's about. So these companies that are growing very, very rapidly, very fast within your niche, within your market, you need to ask them. It was one company that we understood was growing very, very fast. One of the first things that I did, I was asking the CEO, what the hell are you guys doing? What are you guys testing out? Because you guys are scaling way too fast and I don't like it. I literally said that out to the CEO, to the owner. And we had a chat. And he gave me the insights. He gave me the insights because I gave him value and he gave me value in return. Right? Which then leads me again to the next point. And that's going to become friends with your enemies. Become friends with your competitors. Right? If you can cooperate with your competitors, if you can cooperate with other people in your industry that are doing the same as you, I don't know what was that behind my back there, but if you can cooperate with them, you're going to understand that you're going to become 10 times bigger. If you can buy up other companies in your industry, so I run a marketing agency, if we can buy other marketing agencies that are doing similar than us, but maybe have some few problems and struggling with some areas of the business, we can help them. We could become an active investor. So we invest in the company and then we solve their problems, and then we become bigger as an agency together, right? Or we can cooperate in some form of fashion, that we help them with some kind of service and they help us with some other kind of service, and we refer some clients to them and they refer some clients to us, right? So become friends with your enemies. That's actually one of the best things that I learned from one of my mentors a couple of months ago. That he basically said, if you just buy up the 10 biggest agencies below you, you're going to become 10 times bigger. So why don't you just do that? Find a way to cooperate with them. They're going to be very eager and interested to hear and listen from you. And that's what I've been trying to do. We haven't bought 10, but we're looking. So if you're an agency out there, absolutely, there has to be a win-win situation. There is going to be a win-win situation. So we're cooperating with 3-4 other agencies right now, and it's a win-win situation. We give them value on how we've scaled, and they refer some clients to us, and we refer some clients to them. They become bigger, we become bigger. And ultimately, that is going to help everybody, right? So that is what it's about. That was the 10 steps of advice on what I did, how I scaled my agency, and how I scaled my business, and what I've learned through the process. And I hope you can get some insight and you can get some information and take that and learn and implement it. That's the thing, right? First thing first, one of the first advice that I gave is do more, think less. So you watch this video, you took this advice, but now you have to implement it. Now you have to implement what you've learned. And that is what it's about. That's what winners do. Losers, they don't take implementation. They don't do it. They just think. They just think that they procrastinate. Think about all the great things they're going to do. They think about, they say this. They give themselves the dopamine to think about all the great things they're going to do, and then they never go out and actually do it. That's the problem. So if you can just do more and think less, and that's going to help you out. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it if you've actually come this far. This personal brand isn't the biggest yet, but I promise you it will become one of the biggest in the area, absolutely. With all the time, with all the information and the value that I'm giving you here, because there's not a lot of people there. There's not a lot of marketing agencies out there giving this piece of value right here that you're seeing actually right here and right now. And I think it's really, really important. And I would actually very much be grateful if you can share this video, like this video, comment on this video. If there's anything that you're missing out, if there's anything there that you want to see, if there's any advice, any things that you want to see in my journey or learn, just let me know. Write in the comment. Write me on Instagram. Right. My Instagram is at real.run. It's going to be a link below that in this video. If you want to connect with me, you go below. If you want to scale your e-commerce brands, you go below. If you want to scale your marketing agency, you go below. Or if you just want to join our VIP club, which we also have with other marketing agencies, with other e-commerce brands, with other salespeople that are learning, that are scaling, trying to level up themselves, just let me know and we'll get you contact tips. It's going to be in the link below so you can connect with me. And thank you so much for watching the video.